It's a hot day in the South Pacific, so why not talk about 4 of my favorite fresh fragrances, colognes for the heat, and they're all by Mugler. James from J-ROYL here, and we're gonna go ziplining in Vila, Vanuatu. We're also gonna talk about 4 fragrances from the house of Mugler. So Mugler's most popular fragrance for men is definitely Iseman, and I'm gonna be talking about 4 flankers of that fragrance. Mugler Cologne is technically a fresh fragrance, but it's not a men's fragrance, it's unisex. So that one's omitted in this video. But I wanted to talk about Cryptomint, Ultra Zest, Pure Energy / Pure Shot, and Iseman. 4 reviews in one video, and we're gonna compare all 4 of them right now. So let's start with arguably the most popular fresh fragrance by Mugler, Ultra Zest. Why it was called Ultra Zest, I'll never know. Pure orange would have worked better, but Mugler's got to be unpredictable. You can kind of guess the main note in here. Tangerine and blood orange are the 2 primary citrus notes, and they do coexist fairly nicely. The blood orange introduces a little bit of a bitter quality, but the tangerine is most prominent to me. It has a juicy sweetness to it, similar to an orange gelato or sorbet. Although the opening is all about the citrus, the middle and dry down becomes a patchouli, coffee, vanilla fragrance. None of these notes are all that cloying. They're not overly sweet. This still is a fragrance that can be worn in the summer, but based on my experience, I reach for this more in the springtime, when it's relatively mild and you're not sweating profusely. Considering Ultra Zest is friendly with warm weather, it is an excellent performing fragrance. I average about 7 hours of longevity on my skin, but I get about 2.5 hours of projection. It radiates really nicely when your skin warms up. Why I love this. I did not see this coming. With all the other Mugler flankers, they were all darker, spicier, sweeter notes. Wood, leather, coffee, tobacco, and then orange. It was definitely a welcome member to the line because Ultra Zest remains one of the most popular flankers. It's quite wearable year-round, even though it flourishes when it's fairly warm. I would say it is a little more on the casual side rather than formal. If you want to go formal orange, there's always Terre d'Hermes. Why I don't like this. Considering how beautiful the citrus opening in this is, the sweet gourmand dry down can catch you off guard. If you're expecting that this is a pure summer fragrance, you may be thrown off where this fragrance takes you. The patchouli does come out, and if you over apply, you will get a headache. You don't have to worry about this getting too sweet, but just the way that the patchouli and the coffee react in the warm weather, the time that you would want to wear this, it can be off-putting. This is not an orange creamsicle fragrance. If anything, it's a little more green than you would expect. Is this purchase worthy? Yeah. With its unusual take on citrus, that's what makes Ultra Zest a success. Without veering too far away from the original masterpiece that is Iseman, there finally is a warm weather alternative that has gotten a lot of success for good reason. That's just my opinion.
Ready?
Yeah, buddy.
Both hands here. Off you go.
Yeah! Next up we have the newest one, Cryptomint. The 4 main notes in Cryptomint is mint, patchouli, tonka bean, and chocolate. Sounds pretty good, right? Like all Iseman flankers, there is a base of patchouli, and that's what they've been known for. What's nice about the patchouli in here is it's been paired off and coupled with its old buddy, the other green note, mint. What's also nice is this is a gourmand, which means it's yummy smelling. And the yummiest kind of mint is the mint that's with chocolate. Fancy enough, there's also chocolate in here. You got mint chocolate. To this nose, it is more about the tonka bean rather than the chocolate. But because of the mint pairing, it makes it seem like it's chocolatey because your brain wants it to be chocolatey. Why I love this. I just think it was a good decision on Mugler's part. They needed another warmer weather fragrance in their line, and to incorporate mint into the Iseman DNA was a home run for me. Mint and patchouli work very well together, and the chocolatey accord that's incorporated, it gives me that feeling that I'm consuming a double scoop of mint chocolate ice cream. Why this sucks. Performance can sometimes be an issue with Cryptomint, and the part that makes it unique, the mint, can disappear fairly quickly if your skin chemistry is off. Lots of people say that the mint only lasts for 30 minutes on their skin. Not the case for this guy. I get mint for about 3 hours. Don't be jealous. Should you buy this? Yeah. Cryptomint got a ton of bad press when it first came out because haters gon' hate. This is not a weak fragrance. It wasn't a cash grab. I wear Cryptomint year round. When it's cold outside, the mintiness is nice. When it's warm out, the mintiness is nice. It's a flexible fragrance that just works. And if you disagree with me, with my opinion, so? Quick intermission. If you like the video, then like the button like thing. Like. Bye. How about we talk about Pure Shot / Pure Energy? Yay! I got a cool hat and a pretty cool fragrance. This adorable blue and white bottle is Pure Energy. It used to be called Pure Shot, but it's a bit of an awkward story. Pure Energy takes the patchouli of the original, but then introduces mint and delicious, vibrant juniper berries. The mint complements the patchouli quite well, but it's the juniper berries that make this truly a summer scent. It's a bright, slightly tart fruity note that balances the other notes extremely well. I find juniper berries give off a similar vibe to a sour apple. It's not quite as sour as a bergamot or a grapefruit, but it's not too fruity and too sweet where it might just overpower the fragrance and make it a bit much to handle. Why I like this one? You gotta give it up to the blue star. I mean, the presentation, but what's more than that is this is a great performing, creative, fresh fragrance. When you put this on, you don't feel like you're being overly creative and hipster with your fragrance usage. It wears like a standard freshie, but it doesn't smell like one. It's way more than an aquatic, soapy fragrance. I get about 2.5 hours of solid projection and about 7 to 8 hours of longevity on my skin. So I can't argue with that. That's great performance. Why I don't like this? Because Mugler decided to make this a little easier to wear than some of its predecessors, it somehow slightly lost a bit of its creative edge. The lovers of the original's patchouli will be a little bit disappointed here because it's toned down a lot and the juniper berries and the mint have a more prominent role here. So in that respect, it's probably one of the biggest deviations from the original Iseman, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. But for the sake of this video, let's just say it's bad. Should you get this? Yeah!
Oh, hell no!
Pure Energy is a worthy addition to anyone's collection, especially if you're a fan of the original Iseman, but you want a solid, warm weather alternative. Now there's obviously these two guys that are going to be way more popular choices because of their bold use of mint and orange, but for something a bit simpler and perhaps closer to what a typical summer fragrance would be, Pure Energy is your clear choice. It has a lovely freshness to it, it's pretty easy to wear, and it looks really, really cool. The only problem with these white bottles is they seem to get dirty. And finally, we got Iseman. Oh look! The Iseman cometh! If you know which movie that line's from, let me know in the comments. No cheating. Iseman was Thierry Mugler's little fresh fragrance side hustle when he wasn't doing the successful Iseman flankers. This is a fragrance that is largely patchouli dominated. It is a very fresh take on patchouli, and there is a lot of it. The original Iseman starts to show up in the dry down, but the beginning is pure patchouli. Lots of patchouli in here. The green quality of Iseman does make it pretty refreshing. It's a moderately versatile fragrance that you can wear when it's a little bit warm outside, not too hot though, and is very good in the cold weather. Despite the presentation. This looks like a summer banger, but amazing in the cold. Why this is great. There's a lovely duality to the composition in Iseman. Even though mint isn't one of the listed notes in here, I do get a minty quality, but it's not a light and fleeting mint because it has the heavy dose of patchouli to substantiate it and to fortify that mint. The performance in turn is very good. Strong enough to project in below freezing temperatures, but light enough to wear when it's warm outside. Why this is not that good of a fragrance? Although this is wearable in the warm weather, very, very easy to overspray. The patchouli in here is quite strong, and 1 or 2 sprays extra, you will probably ruin your day. This is a fragrance for patchouli lovers only. If you've tried Dolce & Gabbana's Velvet Patchouli, you'll know what this one kind of smells like. Should you go looking for this? No. I think Iseman's fine, but when you look at Pure Energy, you start to realize that they kind of figured it out with this one. If you do want to complete your Mugler collection, and you just want to buy Iseman for the walls, I'm not saying you're not going to like it. You may very well enjoy it, but for well over half of you, don't. I'm back in the cabin! We had an awesome day in Villa Vanuatu, but what I wanted to do was talk a little bit more about all 4 of these fragrances. I do enjoy each one for various different reasons, but you can kind of guess which ones I preferred. Ultra Zest and Cryptomint were the first 2 that I purchased, and I really do like wearing them. However, I will say there is a slight redundancy with the 2 of them. Many people will tell you Cryptomint is just Ultra Zest with the orange ripped out and mint put back in. I don't really agree with that sentiment, but I can kind of understand that having both may seem like a bit of an overlap in your collection. Now, Pure Energy and Iseman, that's a different story. They do have similar characteristics with their more brazen use of fresh patchouli, but Pure Energy has more to it. It has a little bit of mint, it has those juniper berries, and it's just a little more wearable when it's hot outside. And because this video was about fresh fragrances, you can kind of guess that I would definitely go with Pure Energy over Iseman. If I had to go with my personal favorite out of the 4, I would say Cryptomint. So individually, I'd say Cryptomint 1, Ultra Zest 2, Pure Energy 3, Iseman 4th. But if I could only have 2, I'd go Cryptomint and Pure Energy. It gives you a little more variety in how they smell. If you want to know more about Mugler fragrances, you can click this video here. I go through all of the fragrances in my collection by Mugler, so check it out. But as you guys know, this video is just my opinion. All this is my opinion. Get your own.